James Cameron, the acclaimed director behind blockbuster franchises like Avatar and Titanic, has recently addressed a long-standing joke made by comedian Amy Poehler during a major awards ceremony over a decade ago. The comment in question referenced Cameron's previous marriage to fellow filmmaker Kathryn Bigelow, portraying it in a light that Cameron now describes as crossing the line into unnecessary territory. The original quip came during a high-profile hosting gig where Poehler humorously linked Bigelow's expertise in depicting intense scenarios on screen to her personal experience being married to Cameron for several years. Poehler suggested that Bigelow's understanding of challenging situations stemmed directly from that union, framing it as a punchline about endurance and difficulty. At the time, the audience responded with laughter, but Cameron has since reflected on the moment with a sense of disappointment, viewing it as more than just lighthearted banter. Cameron has emphasized that while he is generally resilient when it comes to public ribbing and can appreciate well-intentioned humor, this particular remark felt different. He believes it ventured into territory that was unkind and unfounded, especially given the context of the event, which is meant to honor achievements in film rather than serve as a platform for personal attacks disguised as comedy. The director argues that such comments perpetuate misconceptions about his character and professional demeanor without any real insight into who he is or how he operates behind the scenes. Over the course of his illustrious career, Cameron has indeed cultivated a reputation for being a demanding and perfectionist filmmaker. Stories from various sets have circulated about his intense approach, where the pursuit of cinematic excellence sometimes led to high-pressure environments for cast and crew members alike. Actors and collaborators have shared anecdotes of moments where his passion for the project manifested in raised voices or stern directives, all in service of achieving his visionary goals. This intensity has been part of what drove the creation of groundbreaking films that pushed technical boundaries and captivated global audiences. One notable example comes from his collaboration with actress Kate Winslet on a monumental oceanic epic more than 2 decades ago. Winslet has openly discussed experiencing challenging moments under Cameron's direction, including instances where the director's frustration bubbled over. She described periods of difficulty that tested the resilience of those involved, yet she also acknowledged the extraordinary results that emerged from that collaborative struggle. However, in more recent years, Winslet has observed a noticeable evolution in Cameron's style. When he approached her again for input on an upcoming installment in his expansive sci-fi saga, she noted a shift toward greater openness and consideration. This newer version of the director seemed more attuned to feedback and focused on fostering a positive dynamic, leading to what she described as a transformed working relationship. Similarly, another longtime collaborator, Sigourney Weaver, has witnessed this progression firsthand. Weaver recounted an incident from earlier in their professional history where she felt compelled to intervene on behalf of a younger performer who was struggling under the weight of Cameron's expectations. She approached him directly, explaining the ripple effect of harsh criticism on the entire team and advocating for patience during technically demanding scenes. Weaver emphasized that beneath the tough exterior, Cameron possesses a fundamentally decent core. Over time, she has seen him soften, becoming more empathetic and less prone to outbursts, which she attributes to personal growth and maturity. Cameron himself has acknowledged this internal shift, particularly in how he approaches the massive undertakings of his later projects. He explained that a fundamental change in perspective occurred, where he began prioritizing human elements over purely technical or artistic outcomes. Recognizing that the quality of interactions on set directly influences the final product, he moved away from confrontational methods toward encouragement and support. By creating an atmosphere where creativity could flourish without fear, Cameron believes superior results naturally follow. This philosophy underscores his belief that kindness and motivation yield better performances and, ultimately, stronger films. This evolution didn't happen in isolation. It reflects broader life experiences and reflections on past behaviors. Cameron's marriages, including his time with Bigelow, a trailblazing director in her own right who achieved historic milestones in the industry, have been part of his personal journey. Their union, though brief by some standards, occurred during formative years in both their careers, a period marked by ambition and drive. The end of that chapter was amicable in public view, with both continuing to excel professionally. Yet, the joke resurfaced old narratives, implying a level of hardship that Cameron feels was exaggerated and unfair. In defending against the comment, Cameron highlights a larger issue within entertainment circles: the tendency to reduce complex individuals to caricatures based on rumors or isolated incidents. He points out that laughter at such jabs often stems from preconceived notions rather than truth, revealing more about collective perceptions than reality. Despite his success and contributions to cinema, revolutionizing visual effects, exploring deep-sea mysteries, and crafting narratives that resonate across generations, Cameron remains sensitive to how he's portrayed personally. This recent commentary also coincides with anticipation for his latest endeavors in the Avatar universe, where themes of connection, empathy, and transformation play central roles. Perhaps mirroring his own growth, these stories explore characters who learn to bridge divides and value relationships amid epic conflicts. Cameron's willingness to speak out now, years after the initial joke, suggests a desire to set the record straight while embracing a more balanced approach to leadership. Colleagues continue to praise his genius, even as they note the changes. The director's commitment to innovation remains unwavering, but it's now tempered with wisdom gained from decades in the industry. Instances of past intensity are increasingly framed as relics of a bygone era, replaced by a more collaborative spirit that enhances the creative process for everyone involved. Ultimately, Cameron's response serves as a reminder of the fine line between humor and insensitivity in public forums. While awards shows thrive on witty exchanges, remarks that target personal lives, especially dissolved relationships, can linger and sting long after the applause fades. Cameron's thick skin has allowed him to brush off much over the years, but he draws a clear boundary here, advocating for respect among peers in an industry built on shared passion for storytelling. As he continues to helm ambitious projects that demand the best from massive teams, this mellowed perspective promises even greater achievements. Encouraging rather than demanding, listening rather than dictating, these adjustments reflect a director at peace with his legacy while still pushing boundaries. The joke that once irked him now stands as a footnote in a career defined by monumental successes and personal evolution.